Hey guys, welcome back. I recently reupholstered my front seats with all new leather skins from L-Seat, and it has made a huge difference in how the car feels. This time, we're going to reupholster the rear seats and go over some questions that I got the first time around. So what you see on the screen right now is what they used to look like when I first installed them, and I was worried about the wrinkles, and that's something that you guys also pointed out, but over time it looks like the wrinkles got much better. There are just a few more spots, and I think with enough time they'll also go away, so that's something very good to know. My rear seats were in much better condition than my fronts, but they were still rock hard and dried up so badly due to the California sun. The bottom cushion can be removed by simply pulling up on the rear sections, and the backrest is supposed to be equally easy, but after unlocking the rear section with my key, the passenger side didn't want to unlatch. Oh, there we go. I had a tough time on this one, so I just want to explain this real quick because mine is broken. So when you release the other side with the key, it's supposed to pull on this, and then that's supposed to push on that little lever right there. But mine is broken, so what I had to do was take a screwdriver and go like that, and that released the latch. But hopefully you don't run into that issue. So unlike the fronts, I'm going to try to save this one and not rip anything because this is still in pretty decent condition. It's still pretty hard and shrunk in some places, but I'm sure somebody can use this, right? So I've never done this before and I couldn't find any instructions online. So I'm going to start undoing these clips. One thing I do want to be careful is that this part I don't think comes off, because if I look at the new one, this new one doesn't have this back panel, so I'm pretty sure this is staying on there, so I'll be careful not to remove that. This foam is so fresh. In order to save this leather, I gotta remove the headrest somehow. No idea how to do that. You need to cut into the trim from the back. Are you kidding me? You need to go to the trunk and cut the back side of the rear seats to get to the retainer holding the posts. And use maybe a small staple gun to reattach the rear trim. Can't they just be like regular headrests? Convertible should not be removed, as they form part of the rollover protection. What? We managed to pull ours out. If you release the seat and tilt it forwards, you should be able to trace down where the two retainers come at, or near the bottom you can insert a small screwdriver through the back of the seat to release the retainers. It does result in a pair of very small holes. If you want to put the headrest back in, just push them back in. So what I'm reading in the forums is that the rear headrest is part of like a safety thing during a rollover, so I probably shouldn't touch it. But there is a hole in the back. You have to poke two holes here, which line up. I do feel the two holes here, so I know where it is. But I also don't want to poke holes in this fabric piece right here. But also, how else am I going to remove this old leather and put in the new ones if this headrest is still here? So, and I mean, this, you can't really see this part when the seat is up, so it's not like a huge deal. Okay, and there's supposed to be like a something I can release here. Watch me break this entire thing. So I did it off camera because I didn't think I would get it. So you push these in and that'll unlock, and then push up real hard on this and that should work. But be careful because when this thing came out, this hit my mouth and now I'm bleeding, so just be careful of that. So I removed the foam just to show you guys. I mean, where else are you going to see this, right? So that tab right here, this is how it works. I don't think this is part of the rollover collision, whatever, because it's just plastic and there's nothing in here that prevents it from just going down. This bracket is metal, but it's not, there's nothing in the bracket. It just holds these two plastic things for the headrests. So I'm convinced that this has nothing to do with the rollover crash protection. So the way this works is this is a cable. So when you unlock this part with your key, it's supposed to pull on this cable and release the latch on that side. Mine wasn't working, as I showed you before. I'm gonna bring you guys in closer. So yeah, it's just from the other side, you just have to press on that and that just releases the headrests. Okay, so this is something else that I didn't quite touch up on last time. These rods here, they're actually embedded in the foam, like inside the foam. So you have to be really careful not to take those out. So if you accidentally take off those rods, there's no place for these rods to hold on to. So it's just gonna look bad. So you do have to reuse these. So there's two rods, one on the leather and one on the foam. And it's held on by the hog rings. That's how it works. So one of the most important things is to not remove those metal rods from the foam. And the bottom cushion just looks like it's held on by hog rings on the bottom like that. This one has a rip right there. But again, I'm gonna try to save it so someone else can use it. It looks like this area here has been, I'm pretty sure that's mold. So I'm gonna have to do some disinfecting. Some of these hog rings were quite rusty. And while I'm on the subject of old and rusty, some people actually DM me asking why I keep restoring like old cars and also why I drive a Hyundai. And they ask me if I'm poor or something. I think people like that are kind of missing the point of car enthusiasm, because you know there's satisfaction in restoring something really old and dirty into something brand new. You can't have that on a new car. I mean, I have new cars, I had new cars, and it just wasn't the same. When I had the 90 Aero, that was a really fun car, but nothing really broke on it and there wasn't really anything to restore, not to this degree. And so I only drove that thing for maybe like 6 months and I sold it because it just wasn't fun and it wasn't very satisfying. Because for me, I enjoy restoring things more than driving the thing, which is kind of weird, I know, but yeah, that's why I keep driving old cars, because it's way more fun, they have way more character, it's more engaging, and it's just more satisfying. Do you guys feel the same way or no? If you guys have any other thoughts about that, make sure to comment down below. I would love to have conversations about that with you guys. So I did all the top side, that's the same, but this part is a little different. So inside this foam here, there's a metal rod going all the way around, and that is where you hog ring this little piece of fabric here. That's how it was with the stock seats, and you can see these holes that had the hog rings. So this part is a little challenging. I'm supposed to use the hog ring to staple these here, but it's hard because this plastic trim and the metal is not big enough to fit in here and clamp it all together. So I temporarily tied it down with the zip tie so I have better leverage, I guess. And I'm gonna try to see if I can now clamp it. Oh, there we go. And I haven't jumped in like 5 years. All right, so the seats are in. I haven't done the headrest yet because if you guys noticed by now, the bottom seat cushions pattern is not exactly the same as the original Vigan seats pattern. And that's partly my fault because when I put the order in for the seats, I ordered a Vigan rear seats for a non-convertible. And I also sent in a picture of what I wanted, like the color scheme and everything. And that picture was one out of a convertible. So you can see here, they added one of the flaps on the side, but not in the middle, because this is based off a non-Vigan rear seat. Also on the backrest, they did very good on this one actually. But also I looked on their website and they don't have a listing for the convertible Vigan rear seats. They only have one for the non-Vigan convertible rear seats. I think what they did was take the non-Vigan convertible rear seats and tried their best to replicate the Vigan seat pattern. You know, that's very awesome of them to try and do that. So I reached out to them about this and they were more than happy to have me send in my original Vigan seat covers, and they would make a template out of that and they would send back the new ones. So these are kind of a temporary one, and I wanted to bring that to your attention and tell you guys that I think they will have the Vigan convertible rear seat as an option in the future. One thing I didn't mention in the front seats episode was that while these are real genuine leather, very high quality ones at that, only the seating surfaces are real leather. The sides and the back panels are vinyl, but they do give an option to do the entire covers with only genuine leather for an additional $130. And I think that's really good because that makes the entry-level product more accessible to more people, but it also gives the option where if you do have the money, you can get genuine leather on all surfaces. These ones are the leather and vinyl combo, but honestly, you can't even see the size on these, so not much of a loss here. For the wrinkles, as I pointed out in the beginning of the video, I'm sure they'll work themselves out, so I'm not going to bother with steaming for right now. Anyways, I hope this video was helpful for you guys. If you have any questions about installing the seats or L-seat in general, don't hesitate to comment down below or reach me via Instagram. I'll try my best to answer all the questions. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.